Oh, muted. Good evening, everyone. I am Kimberly Winborne of Kimberly Winborne LLC. I am excited to be here tonight, but I will not be here before you long. My guest for this evening, Dr. Theresa Ann Moseley, had an internet outage, and so she will not be able to join this evening. All right. Good evening. Good evening, Jeter. Good evening. So she will not be able to join us this evening. However, we will have her back between Wednesday and Thursday. We're both checking our calendars. So we're going to have her when that internet gets reconnected. So I did want to come on. So sorry for the delay, the 10-minute delay. We normally start at 7 o'clock, but because of the information, had a little bit of a delay because I had already promoted that we would have a show tonight, a podcast show tonight. I wanted to still come on and give you guys an update of what's going on. I have been excited about this series, The Voice of Leadership. It has been such an amazing series. I've been getting a great feedback from several people about the various guests that have been on. And so I want to take the time to thank all of the guests who have joined me during this series that began mid-May, I believe May 16th, because we will be wrapping it up very soon. Next week, we have an amazing guest, Marcel Anderson, who is an international recording artist. He is touring and doing a whole bunch of things, and we get the opportunity for him to stop by the podcast, the Collaboration Culture podcast, to visit with us so that he can share about his new single, Better Days, which is topping the charts in the jazz category, which is a new section for him. So come back next week on Tuesday, where we will have another amazing guest, Marcel Anderson, and he's going to talk about the industry, but also some of the things that he advocates for around sexual assault awareness. And he has a couple of books that really tell his story. And then also he'll be promoting his CDs and sharing the info. I guess it's digital now. I'm telling my age by saying CDs, but anyway, I could have said 45s. But anyway, and he's going to be sharing that new single that you can download. I shared it last week in promotion. So I'm excited to have him next week. A couple of things that we have coming up in collaboration, in the land of collaboration. For those who are out there, good. Once I already said good evening to B. Jacqueline Jeter, my sister. I really appreciate you for joining. Anybody else watching, I would love to shout you out. As I said before, my guest has some internet issues, so it's just going to be me on for a few minutes, talking about some things that are coming up and sharing about next week's guest. So, who's on? Who's watching? Who's with me this evening? Go ahead and shout yourselves out, and I will say hello. But this week, this week, this Sunday, actually, we have the summer collaboration. Good evening, Trivoli. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. You're always such a great support, and I really truly appreciate that. I want you guys to know. I know I'm veering off for just a second. I want you guys to know that I do not take it lightly. Those who take the time to join any of the shows, to go back and watch, to share it with other people, I do not take that lightly. Whether it's Love and Flow TV, whether it's the Collaboration Culture podcast, the Counterculture show, through the years, if it's been Coffee and Collaborations or the Ultimate Fan podcast, because I've changed it up just a few times. I really, truly appreciate your support through everything. And so I just wanted to say that because, a lot of times people don't know unless you tell them just how much their support means to you. So, Trively, you are a person who reminded me to say that because you're such a great support. Jacqueline Jeter, such a great support. And behind the scenes, you're like always pushing me, both of you. So I really appreciate that. All right. So I wanted to take a moment since I have have the platform this evening by myself to just shout you out. Love you guys. So like I was saying, a couple of things going on this Sunday. We have the summer collaboration brunch. Okay. So one of the things that you obviously know by collaboration, the word collaboration being everywhere, is that is something that is really important to me. That is something that has been sort of like an assignment of mine to share when it comes to industry, the business industry, the industry of entrepreneurship, I should say. And so I believe in collaboration. I believe that if we work together, tell me, do you believe in the comments? Have you had great experiences with collaboration where you and someone else came together and brought your different gifts, skills, and talents together to be able to create something powerful, dynamic, and amazing? If you have had a great experience with collaboration, please share that in the comments because I want to hear about it. But that being said, I really do truly believe that and can share statistics. If entrepreneurs would work together more regularly, then their businesses would grow more exponentially. So, that whole silo feel, entrepreneurship can feel very much so like you're alone. Anything that you're starting on your own, it could feel very much so like you're alone, right? But you are not. And if you're open to collaboration, I used to teach a class. I'm change my camera view a little bit. I used to teach a class, and it's still in my repertoire. I just haven't done it as much lately with focusing on the debt detox. But it was the art of collaboration and networking. Anybody ever heard me talk about this class? Talk about the power of networking, and that developed from my background in English. Um, my degree in English, but then also my background in entrepreneurship. And as an entrepreneur, what I realized is that by myself, yeah, I could do some great things, but together with other folks, I could do way more. And being able to put my resources with somebody else's, people would ask me all the time, like, what, how do you do everything that you do? And I would always say it's because of collaboration. I am not able to do over half the things that I do without the support of a team of other people who have dynamic skill sets, right? If it wasn't for that, I would not be able to do over half the things that I do. But it's as a result of collaboration that I am able to do the things that I do. And I believe that God has given me that as my ministry, right? So, my marketplace ministry to share the message that there is an art to networking, right? And there's an art to collaboration by networking, which is building relationships, connecting, then we can create collaborations. And so there's that bridge. There's that bridge. So the whole idea of coffee and collaborations is that coffee represents the intentional connection. Did you guys know that? Coffee represents the relationship. Sitting across the table from someone with a cup of coffee. That was sort of like a standard, hey, let's get together, let's go grab some coffee and let's meet and let's talk about how we could work together. Let's talk about what you got going on, right? You heard people say that for years. So that's the concept. Coffee is about relationships. It represents relationships. So for those of you who didn't know, how did the name coffee and collaboration come about? That's how. So there's an art and a science to networking and collaboration. And so the summer collaboration brunch is just that same model, me getting that sort of back out there to share with folk that we need to, like never before, you guys, we need to come together as entrepreneurs and bring our resources together in collaboration. Anybody agree? Anybody out there watching or listening agree with me that together you can do more, and you have experienced that with having a mindset open to collaboration, you can do more. And one of the things that I really believe, it doesn't matter if the person that you're working with does the exact same thing that you do, because you have your unique and authentic identity that is valuable. They have their unique, authentic identity that is valuable. So the only competition out there is fun. It's like, hey, how can we do this together? I remember years ago, when I was in another industry, I used to have a fun competition with my partner in crime. We did the same exact thing. And what we would do is by the end of the week or the end of the day, just depending on how often we were in the same space, we would challenge each other and push each other. That was the competition. It was fun. It was like together we can build a wealth strategy that can make us be able to take home money for both of us, and in the end people know that we are a team. So together we were able to do amazing things. Okay, so that's why coffee and collaborations. Now we have the culture of collaboration, which is the show now, the podcast name now, the collaboration culture. So thank you all. Yes, we achieve more together. We absolutely achieve more together. Hey, good evening. Shout out to Tribob, Kevin Bethea, the founder, visionary of that group. Guys, they have thousands of members, thousands and thousands of members. If you are Black and you are not a part of Tribob, then you need to be in there. The Triangle Black Owned Business group. Okay. So Kevin, I didn't share it tonight, Kevin, but I will, because it's just me. My guest had an internet outage, so she's not able to make it tonight. So I decided to come on because I'd already put the show out there. Yeah, 28,000 local members in Tribob, right? So for those of you who are not, who have a business, a Black owned business, if you're not a part of Tribob, you want to go and look that up. I'm saying it's TRIBOB. That's what you can look up. Triangle Black Owned Businesses. I had the opportunity to sit with Kevin, laugh with Kevin, laugh with Kevin over the phone mostly. But we have decided that we would collaborate, right, Kevin? That we would create collaboration, and together he can support what I'm doing. I can support what he's doing. That's just a great example of collaboration. That's right, Trivily. You need to join. If you are not a part of that group, you need to join. Now, everybody knows I have my own group, right? I have a couple of groups, but I can still support Kevin's group. He can support me. It doesn't hurt either one of us, right? It doesn't take anything away from us. It actually what helps us, like I was saying. So I'm not trying to preach to y'all. I'm not trying to preach to y'all, but I believe that collaboration is something that God has given me to share, given me to do. And sometimes it has been hurtful. So, for those people who have been burned as a result of collaboration, do not give up. Do not stop. Do not expect that same thing from everyone else. Trust me, I have not always had 100% amazing experiences with collaboration. Trust me, I have given more than I've received and then got fussed about, talked about behind my back, all types of stuff, right? It's happened. But in the end, guess what? Have you seen me stop? Have you seen that stop any of my flow? No, because this is something that I know that we need to do together. We need to join forces and we need to make an impact. So it takes us to change our atmosphere. That's right, Miss Peggy. It takes us to change our atmosphere. And if you didn't know that, then you heard it today. It takes us. So I said all of that to say that I am doing an event and it is focusing on collaboration. So I'm bringing four other women and myself together. All of us are in finance, and we're doing an event called the Summer Collaboration Brunch on Sunday. So for those of you who can make it, join us. We have that event is going to be sponsored by April Russell of Movement Mortgage. Okay. It is going to be over at the West Room, Raleigh, North Carolina, not too far from the airport. So it's kind of like in the middle of Raleigh and Durham, not quite Durham, right? It's on the edge of Raleigh. Let me move my banner so you can see it. And we still have room for others to join. So we're going to be talking about collaboration. We're going to be showing, I want to share with people how to do collaboration well. People have asked me, how do you create collaboration? Well, it starts with building relationship. You actually have to be authentically open to building relationship, right? You have to give as much as you want to receive, reciprocity, right? It's not an overnight thing. In many instances, though, because of divine connection, it can be. But I've worked with people, it takes loyalty. I've worked with people for years, 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 years. We built collaboration. Triangle RDU Black owned businesses FB group. Okay. And when you go pull that up, it'll say in like parentheses Tribob, TRIBOB. So that's the name. Thank you, Kevin, for typing that so I could share it. All right. So many people say I promote other people more than I promote myself. Like through the years, well, that's who I am. That is promoting. That is me. That's myself. By promoting others, that is who I am. That is who God made me to be. So I am authentic to who I am. Like this podcast, for instance, I get an opportunity to share with you all these amazing guests that if you were to try to sit with them and get coaching time, it would cost a whole lot more. But you get 45 minutes to an hour of personal and professional development by watching the podcast, right? So that is my a part of my mission and vision to see entrepreneurs be able to thrive as a result of providing resources in the areas of personal, professional, and financial development. And so I do this in collaboration with other business owners. So anyway, the summer collaboration brunch, Sunday, 2 p.m. We have vendors. Like I said, it's sponsored by April Russell of Movement Mortgage. We got a couple of vendors. We're going to have a brunch curated by Taste of Soul Catering. I'm really, truly excited about this event. So please join myself and those four other ladies who are also in finance as we create this movement, right? This movement bringing our resources together in order to help others, right? In order to create a community where other women and people in finance and those who want to work with those in finance can come together. But business people can come and they can network and they can grow. And those who need financial support can be in the room and meet others, meet people who can help them, whether you're an entrepreneur or not. So it's going to be a great event. All right. The next thing I want to share is so the whole thing with coffee and collaborations, right? You remember I just told you guys about the whole coffee concept and all of that, right? So this concept actually inspired me also 5 years ago to have a magazine. and to have a coffee line. Well, I started working on the magazine and then COVID happened and I tried to push forward. How many of y'all had projects that you tried to push forward, but it just wasn't happening? And I just had to shift and pivot from that goal and put it on the back burner. It's still going to happen. You guys have heard me talk about it. This magazine, when is this magazine coming? It's still going to happen. But the vision was for you all to be able to enjoy professional and personal development by listening to a podcast, this podcast, right? And have your magazine with your local business owners and so forth and so on over a cup of coffee, right? And so the coffee and collaborations, that's how that was built. That was a part of that vision, to have a coffee line, and also to go to coffee shops and be able to interview people in the coffee shop. And I did that a couple times. Hopefully the goal was to be able to have my own coffee in a coffee shop. So that's the vision, right? I'm working on now getting that vision out. Now it's going to take time. It's going to take time, but that is why I started the coffee line. So for those who are wondering, where did this coffee line come from? How did she come up with this? It was always there. You can ask anybody that has been around for the last 5 years. I always wanted the coffee line. It just sometimes takes time to implement things. Vision takes time to execute sometimes. So when I talk to people, that's why you got to be careful about who you share your vision with, because they if they are not who you're supposed to share it with, they can actually deter you, rather, from doing the thing that God has called you to do, that you are supposed to do. And so, it seemed, oh, it's too much. It's well, when I share vision with people, trusted people, they understand who I am, right? And they understand that I'm not a person that just jumps and does something. I do research. I take time. I study. I try to find the best route. So anyway, that's what's happened with the coffee. I took some time. Other things happened where I had to put it on a shelf. And so now I have launched the coffee line. And what I did, I have 4 coffees. I have 4 coffees, but you guys have only heard me promote the one coffee because I wanted to highlight that coffee at least for a month or two in honor of my dad, who passed away last June 2nd. But we have 4 coffees. The coffees are all based on the concept of, guess what? Networking and collaboration. You guessed it, right? So the only coffee that is not based on that particular model is the Cowboy Blend coffee, the one that I made as a special feature coffee in honor of my dad. So I wanted to tell you all that story. For those who have not had the opportunity to read anything about the coffee that I launched for my dad, and didn't know the reason why I launched a coffee line, that is to explain that. It was always going to be there. It just took some time and now we have it. So I hope you're as happy for me as I am to finally have that coffee line out. Okay. I am so excited about that. Like I said, it took some time. It took some research. I got a mentor kind of talk to behind the scenes. And we'll continue to talk to, if you guys have noticed through the years, I have collaborated with Blackology Coffee. Blackology Coffee, owned by Lori Jones. I have carried the mug and brought the mug on as I drink my coffee or tea on different shows. Well, Blackology Coffee is someone who I have been able to work with in order to get inspiration, and we're going to be sitting down and having some conversation around it. So once again, collaboration over competition. Collaboration over competition. I went to her and I told her when she was about to do her line, I said, hey, girl, I'm going to have a coffee too. She's actually going to be in the magazine. And I said, hey, girl, I want a coffee line too. And I told her about the vision. So whenever it was time for me to get back out to do this, I was like, "You still open to mentoring me?" She was like, "Absolutely, whatever you need, sis." And so she has been sort of giving me little tips and different things like that when I go into full blown marketing. All right. So collaboration over competition. I don't feel like I'm losing anything by sharing Blackology coffee, even though I have a coffee line. And she doesn't feel like she's losing anything. She is booming. She is doing a great job. She even had come up with a coffee a couple years ago called the Winborne, y'all. That thing was good. It was a coffee that I order all the time. It's like salted caramel and um, oat milk and some other stuff with a specific coffee. And it was called the Winborne. Hopefully, it's still on the menu. It's so good. So if you ever run into Lori, ask her if she still has the Winborne. But anyway, so the coffee line, I launched that for Father's Day as a tribute to my dad. And we did the Cowboy Blend coffee. This is the only coffee, fresh roasted coffee that I have that does not have a story around collaboration and networking. This is a special tribute coffee for my dad. It's the only one that comes in Keurig K cups. Only one that comes in K cups right now. And it is so good. It is so good. And I'm not just saying that. This is fresh roasted. I'm a coffee lover. I love tea too. I got some tea right here tonight. But it is so good. It's called the Popeye's Chili Edition. Why is it called Popeye's Chili Edition? Well, my dad had was known for his chili. He was a cowboy at heart. He was known for his chili, and would give out so much chili that people started placing orders, right? And so when I launched my when I finally did the grand launch for my nonprofit Beauty 180, we had his chili as the main dish. And from there, people began buying chili from him. So Popeye's Chili is the name of the chili company. And so to keep that going, and as a tribute to my dad, like I said, who passed away last June, I we did the Cowboy Blend coffee. Because as you see right here, he's a cowboy at heart. He would have on his cowboy boots and so forth and so on. So that was the Father's Day Popeye's Chili edition. It's still available and it's still on sale. I'm going to keep it at the same price for a while. And so good evening, Belinda. Good to see you. And so that's the story behind the Popeye's Chili edition and the coffee, why I chose to come out with that one first. And so you'll be seeing me share more stories about the coffee, really share how the coffee developed, the other names of the coffees. And so one coffee is called the Affiliate. Another coffee is called Intentional Connection. Another coffee is called Synergy. And then the Cowboy Blend, Popeye's Chili Edition. So if you go to the website at coffeeandcollaborations.com and you click on coffee, then you'll see the coffees there, right? And then you can um, follow our journey so you can find out more about the story. I'm going to share that at the bottom of the screen so you can see and go and look up the story. You'll also be able to look up the story of Coffee and Collaborations. Okay, so I shared the summer collaboration brunch. I shared about the coffee. The last thing that I want to share is it's Minority Mental Health Month. Minority Mental Health Month. Did you guys know that it was Minority Mental Health Month? Well, it is. And so, in a partnership with a couple of other organizations for Minority Mental Health Month, we are doing a 5K walk. Coffee and Collaborations Media is a sponsor of this event. We are a media sponsor, so we'll be out there on location, but also it is hosted by Kimberly McGee, Dion Selby, both of Love and Flow TV, and then Dion Wingate, who we've worked with before. And so Minority Mental Health Month. And so the flyer, it's not a race, it's a cause. Minority Mental Health Matters. So it's a 5K mental health walk and run. They say you can come out there and you can walk at your own pace, you can run, whatever it is. They welcome everybody to come and join us, walk or run at your own pace. So it's going to be at Anderson Point Park in Raleigh, North Carolina, kind of on the Nightdale end of Raleigh. Okay. And there is vendor space available. So if anybody's interested in being a vendor, then you want to reach out to Kimberly Woods McGee, or Dion Selby to get that information. Looks like there's a scan code to register, free registration. And so this is going to be an amazing event that we get to support minority mental health awareness. Okay. Thank you, Belinda. I think it's awesome too. So we were excited to be a part of this, understanding that this is a very important cause, um, very important to do. Absolutely. So for anybody that's in the Raleigh area that would like to join that 5K mental health walk and run on July 22nd, this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., just come anytime in that window. Free registration, and anybody that wants to be a vendor, then you can pay and set up, very nominal fee, and we will be a media sponsor, so I'll be able to do hopefully some interviews between myself and one of the other team with coffee and collaborations. So those are the things that I wanted to share this evening. Like I said, my guest that was supposed to be on, thank you, Monique, good to see you, sis. My guest that was supposed to join me this evening was not able to because she had technical difficulties. The internet went out. So we're going to reschedule. But I figured I would still come on, like I said in the beginning, do some announcements, share some things that we have coming up, talk a bit about why we have some of the things that we have coming up by highlighting collaboration. In this season where we're coming out of COVID, a lot has happened. You know, that Minority Mental Health Awareness Walk is right on time. And we need to also be aware of our own mental health. We need to be aware of what we need within our businesses, right? And we need each other in spite of what you may think. In spite of what you may think, you actually do need one another. We need one another as business owners, as individuals. We need to collectively remember that the silo life, that is not the life that is going to help us to produce the things that we actually are capable of producing. A lot of times we feel like we can't produce, right? We feel like we don't have the resources, we don't have the information. We beat ourselves up about, I wish I did, I shoulda, coulda, all this and that. But when you come collectively together in a tribe, in a cult, in a community, a culture that will nourish you, nurture you, and help you, then it changes the game overall. It changes the game overall. It helps you to overcome things like fear, right? And walk actually in your purpose. So, I want you to see if you could come to any of those events this weekend and or future events. Follow us at Coffee and Collaborations. See what we got going on. We're always looking to make new connections. I had a moment today that Monique, Belinda, it happens. We all have moments that we feel like we don't even realize and recognize, but our body tells us that we need more than we even know that we need. And we deny ourselves so often because of fear, imposter syndrome, all these other things. But in community, you can overcome a lot of those things. You can overcome some of the shortcomings that you have placed upon yourself, limiting beliefs. You can overcome some of the challenges financially, physically, emotionally, mentally. You can overcome a lot of these things as a result of community, right? So, that's what I wanted to share this evening. Thank you all for joining. And if I could be a resource or support in any way, those who know me know you can inbox me, you could text me, you could call me, you could email me. But if you reach out to me and there's a need, I'm going to try to fulfill it. I'm going to try my best. If I don't have the answer, I'm going to try to find someone who does. Right? That is, as I said before, a part of my joy. It's a part of who I am, and I gotta be me. So, all right, thank y'all for joining me again this evening. was supposed to be Dr. Theresa Ann Moseley in our series, The Voice of Leadership. We will continue that with her. We're just syncing our calendars to figure out the when, but it will be this week. And then next week on Tuesday at 7 o'clock, right back here, we'll have another amazing guest, Marcel Anderson. I believe last week I shared his CD cover, his new CD that came out. I shared that. So for those of you who didn't get a chance to watch last week's show, go back and watch it so you can see who he is at the end. Or you could just follow him at Marcel Anderson, and or just come on back next week and meet him for yourself. I'll be promoting and sharing all of that. All right. Thank you for joining. I really, truly appreciate you. Love you all. Be blessed. Have an amazing, amazing, amazing rest of your evening. And just look for more information from the team, the crew over at Coffee and Collaborations. We definitely want to serve you. We definitely want the whole team. Y'all, the whole team. I am so blessed to have a whole team of people that want to serve others. Shout out once again to April Russell of Movement Mortgage for being a sponsor of the summer collaboration brunch. And then, of course, shout out to Elton Benjamin of Industry Image for doing all of our graphics for the collaboration culture and Coffee and Collaborations media. We really, truly appreciate you. If anybody needs marketing, brand strategy, logos, graphic design, or campaigns, Elton Benjamin Business Creative will brand you. So reach out to him for all of your needs around those areas. All right. He is our sponsor and we love him. Good night, y'all.
This has been a Coffee and Collaborations media production.